Banking Lesson 8, Everything You Need to Know About Checks. In this lesson, you'll learn how to write a check, why writing a check isn't very common these days, and what has replaced check writing to make your life easier and less stressful. In today's digital age, most people use apps like Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, and other digital wallets as a way to send money or pay for things. So while the chances of you needing to write a check are very slim to none, it's a good idea to know how to write one just in case. For example, many landlords insist that their tenants use a check to pay for rent. You can purchase checks through your bank or order them online, and some banks even give you a free box when you sign up for a checking account. In the event that you'll only need a random check here or there, most banks will print a few complimentary checks if you request them. So let's write a check moving from the top of the check to the bottom, which will make sure that we don't skip any steps. This is where you'll write the date the day the check was written. It should not be future dated, also known as post-dated. Most banks will cash a check on the day the person receives it, regardless of the date being in the future. This is where you write the name of the person or business that you're paying. This information needs to be accurate, so if you're not sure who to make the check out to, you need to ask. This is where you'll write the amount of the payment using numbers. Put all of the numbers as far to the left as possible. This will help prevent someone from potentially committing fraud and adding an extra number in front of whatever you wrote. For example, $139.39. Right here, you're going to write the amount using words, and this will be the official amount of your payment. If that amount is different from what you wrote in the numbers in the previous step, whatever you wrote with words will legally be the amount of your check. This is to help prevent fraud. It's easier to manipulate numbers than it is words. Another thing that can help prevent fraud is writing in all capital letters, which are harder to alter. The only time numbers will appear on this line is when it comes to cents. You will write the number of cents out of 100 to represent the number of pennies out of a dollar. For example, 139 and 39 over 100. Sign the check on the signature line in the bottom right corner. Use the same name and signature that you use for everything else. Don't forget this step because a check will not be valid without a signature. This part is optional. The memo line is a good place to add a note about why you wrote the check. For example, September rent, if giving the check to a landlord. Two other very important things to know where to find are your account number and your routing number on the check. At the bottom of a check, you will see three groups of numbers. The first group is your routing number, the second group is your account number, and the third is your check number. You'll need your account number and routing number for various reasons that we will cover in the next couple of lessons. When it comes to writing checks, there are a few more things that you need to know. Number one, always write with a pen. If you use a pencil, anybody with an eraser can change the amount of the check and the name of the payee. Number two, do not sign a blank check. If the name of the payee and the amount on the check are left blank, someone has the capability to write whatever they want on those lines, giving them unlimited access to your checking account. Number three, always use a consistent signature. This helps your bank identify and prevent fraudulent transactions. Lastly, and most importantly, before writing a check, you need to verify that you actually have money in the account to cover the full amount of the check. The money does not get pulled from your account until the person you wrote the check to cashes it, so be sure to keep at least that amount in your account until the check has been cleared. In the event that you do not have enough money in your account to cover the check, a couple of things could happen. Your bank could choose to fund the check, which would result in you receiving an overdraft fee on top of the negative amount in your account. However, it is more common for your bank to refuse to issue the funds, and the person you wrote a check to will receive a non-sufficient funds fee on their account on top of not receiving the amount you wrote the check for. You do not want to be in this position. It is illegal to write bad checks or checks that you know you do not have the money to cover, and doing so multiple times can result in your bank closing your account altogether. If you become a repeat offender, your name can be added to the check systems, which is something you do not want to happen. Check Systems is a reporting agency that financial institutions use to assess the risk of new customers opening a bank account. If a person has a negative history with the bank, such as unpaid fees, excessive overdrafts, bounced checks, or other issues that cause the bank to close their accounts, there is a high probability that other banks will refuse to open new accounts with them in the future. The person is essentially banned from using the traditional banking system. A cashier's check is a safe way to make a large payment where a normal check might not be accepted, for example, buying a car. You can purchase a cashier's check at most banks and credit unions. As we mentioned earlier, personal checks can bounce, meaning there isn't enough money in the account for a person to cash the check. With a cashier's check, the bank certifies that the funds are available and that the check is guaranteed to clear. Basically, you are prepaying for a check. In order to purchase a cashier's check, you will need to have all of the necessary information ready. This includes the name of the person it's going to and the exact amount that is to be paid. You will need to have the full amount of money in the form of cash or be able to withdraw it from your account. And know that most banks and credit unions won't issue cashier's checks unless you have an account with them. Another option is a money order. Money orders are not tied to specific banks and can be purchased at grocery stores, pharmacies, and post offices. Like a cashier's check, you will need the name of the person it's going to and the exact amount that is to be paid. You will also need to have the full amount of money in the form of cash. Unlike a cashier's check, money orders are typically only available for up to $1,000. Money orders typically cost less than $2, while cashier's checks can be upwards of $10. In the event that you lose a money order or a check, whether it's a cashier's check or a personal check, you can issue a stop payment with the company or the institution that issued the check or the money order. Just know that sometimes this comes with additional fees and can take weeks to research. In some cases, you might be completely out of luck if you don't have the original receipts. You just learned how to fill out a check, what happens when you don't have the funds to cover a check amount, as well as the difference between personal checks, cashier's checks, and money orders. In the next lesson, you'll learn about alternative forms of payments since most people don't use checks anymore.